Hi, ECOPRESS. My name is Jessie Amarachi. Some of you met me in the department last December. I'm a consultant at the World Bank in Washington, D.C. I was once a student of this department like all of you, and I'm happy to answer your question. My response to your question is, I think the redesign of the Naira note policy is of economic interest and also has a political reason. Now, for the economic interest, the CBN governor said that the reason for the redesign is to curb inflation, hoarding, and counterfeiting of the notes. These are indeed problems that we are facing in the economy. Also, he claims that 85% of the money in circulation are not in the bank vault. If this is true, then indeed the redesign of the Naira notes has the potential to curb this problem, and hence my reason for thinking that the policy has economic interest at heart. But then again, I also believe that there is a political reason for it, and I'm forced to believe this because of the timing of the policy. We know that we are all supposed to stop using the old note by the end of this month, which is less than 90 days from the main elections. The CBN governor has been summoned by the National Assembly. He has either not showed up or said anything to them. And also, they've asked him to extend.
ECOPRESS. My name is Chuksmoxi Makwe, an MSc in Petroleum Engineering at Teesside University, England. I am making this presentation on some political and socio-economic effects of CBN's Naira redesign policy. Now, in conclusion, I believe that the Naira redesign policy is mostly aimed at curbing vote buying, considering the timing of the event. Actually, the Naira redesign policy could have been carried out at any time, at any other time, but the CBN chose to do it now. And if you look at the deadline, which is 31st of January 2023, which is close to the date of the election. And so that's a sign that most likely this is targeted at the election. Well, it's a positive thing anyway, because this helps to solve election malpractices problems. And so now the question is the policy necessary at the moment? Yeah, I think it is. Because in the long run, it's going to be for the benefit of everyone in Nigeria. Assuming there is no vote buying, there are no other electoral malpractices, and the election is conducted free and fair. Every Nigerian is going to benefit from that. And that means that the right leader will be voted into power. Now, is the policy of economic interest or a political tool for the benefit of only selected parties? Well, I think this is a multi-purpose policy. It will reduce counterfeiting and inflation and also promote free and fair election. Thank you.
Hello, ECOPRESS. My name is Timtope Ogo. I am a developmental economist and a program specialist. I have been asked to talk about the Naira redesign, if it is a mere political tool or if it was done for the benefit of the economy. Now, I'd like to state that the four major reasons why the Naira was redesigned was to curb inflation rates, to reduce the velocity of money in the economy, to reduce the amount of illicit dealings such as kidnapping, and also reduce or eradicate the amount of counterfeit notes that are currently in circulation. Now, to reduce the amount of inflation rates, from Phillips' curve, we can see that there's a stable inverse relationship between inflation and unemployment rates, and this happens naturally because with high inflation rates, we know that this is caused by an increase in demand, and with the increase in demand for products and services, that means that there will be increased production, and so therefore more people would be employed. However, we've seen that there are high inflation rates and high unemployment rates, and this is called stagflation. Now, is this policy effective in addressing this? I don't believe so. However, maybe in the long term, but not in the short term. But I do believe that it's effective in addressing the high velocity of money that's currently in circulation. Why? 2.73 trillion out of the 3.23 trillion that was currently in circulation last year was outside the vaults of commercial banks. Now, if you do the math, that means that there's a lot of money in circulation without accountability. So do I believe that this measure would actually curb the velocity of money in the economy? Yes, I do believe so. Because now, aside from this, there are also fiscal policies and discretionary policies in place to make sure that every Naira is accounted for. Now, in reducing the amount of illicit dealings, I do believe that this measure would be able to effectively curb this. Why? Because now you can't just withdraw that large amount of money. You would have to transfer. There would have to be a reason why you would transfer that amount of money. And even if you want to make offshore accounts or if you want to send it from abroad, then there has to be a reason why, because there are regulations in place. So do I believe that this measure would solve this? Yes, I do believe so. Also, in terms of the high amount of counterfeit notes that are currently in circulation, do I believe that this policy or this new Naira redesign will curb this? Yes, I do believe so. And this is backed by a statement by the CBN governor, Mefele, where he says that there are a lot of security measures that are currently in place, as well as on the Naira, to make sure that this Naira is not counterfeited. Now, would all of this have positive effects on the economy as of now? I don't believe it will have positive effects on the economy in the short term, but I do believe it will have effects in the medium to long term. Why? Because with a new policy, Nigerians are finding ways to go around these policies. A lot of people are now changing or converting their money to commodities, of which they can then buy and sell later to have their money back in a more, would you say, clean means, whereby they're not seen as malicious. Now, Nigerians would always find a way around these things. However, I do believe that this policy was made for the benefit of the economy, and I do believe that we would start to see the effects in the medium to long term. Thank you.
Hello, ECOPRESS. My name is Emmanuel Mugo, and I'm a development researcher, so I'll be answering a few questions on the new Naira notes as released by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The first question I'll be answering is on the quality of the design and the amount of money that is claimed to have been spent on the project. So I think that I am dissatisfied with the quality of the design, given that there are no significant differences between the old ones and the new ones, except that the colors were changed. There are no substantial additions or subtractions whatsoever, and I think that this resonates with the feelings of a lot of Nigerians, as have been indicated by surveys and other forms of public engagement. But as to the amount that was spent on the project, whatever we have heard are mere allegations by media houses which are yet unfounded. The Central Bank, as at the time of recording this video, not officially said they spent any amount of money, and until they say, then we cannot tell whether the amount is too much for the quality we got or whether it is exactly okay. And on the motivation behind the project, whether it was politically motivated or not, I think it's normal to feel that way given the season and time in which the policy is being implemented. But personally, I think it's a normal economic policy like others even before it. Why do I think so? I think so because even before the policy was announced and started being implemented, the Central Bank of Nigeria had begun reducing money supply as a way to fight rising inflation in the economy. And so this is why they increased the MPR from 11.5% as at the second quarter of 2022 to 16.5% as it is currently. So it makes sense that a bank that wants to reduce money supply also initiates a policy that compels people to take their old notes to the bank. And as you are taking your old notes to the bank in order to get new ones, Central Bank now followed it up with another policy that restricts the amount of money you can take from the bank, placing withdrawal limits on individual and business bank accounts. And this week, the Central Bank has also released a policy that seeks to harmonize card payment system in Nigeria. And so, rather than being a politically motivated policy, I think that this is a central bank's step-by-step strategy to advance on its cashless policy, since this chain of policies will encourage electronic transactions and reduce the use of cash payment method in the economy. And it also has secondary benefits of deepening financial inclusion and maybe expanding the government tax base by increasing taxable bank accounts to be specific. I am not ruling out the possibility that this is a politically motivated policy, but I do think that for me, it's more about a normal economic policy than being a politically induced policy. Thank you.